Tonight, out with the old, in with the new.
It just makes it easier to get across and down the main street.
How some major projects are about to change the way you get around downtown. Also tonight, wildfires cooling off.
To be absolutely clear, this is still a very serious situation.
What happens now that Manitoba's state of emergency is over? Plus,
how much money do you need to buy a home in Winnipeg these days? I'm John Hendrickson. I'll show you coming up on CTV News.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
good evening. Thanks for joining us. Generational changes are coming to downtown Winnipeg this week. It all starts Friday with the reopening of Portage and Main to pedestrians for the first time since 1979. Live at the infamous intersection tonight is CTV's Jeff Keel. So, Jeff, is the intersection going to be ready for pedestrians in just a matter of days?
It sure looks that way, Marilee. The barricades are gone. In their place, these black posts. There are still some temporary roadblocks behind me to prevent people from going across early before Friday, but not everybody's obeying that. We've seen people crossing here today, even though they're not supposed to yet. The barricades are gone, the crosswalks are painted, as Portage and Main is set to officially reopen to pedestrians for the first time in 46 years.
I'm excited.
I think there's a lot of curiosity right now and want to see how it's all going to play out.
The project to transform the intersection began last November. CTV News created this time lapse showing the work being done over the winter and into the spring. The mayor and city council voted for the opening as cost estimates predicted it would be cheaper than fixing the existing underground concourse.
We have to ask ourselves a question: what decision do Winnipeggers 20 years from now need us to make today?
The corner will open up Friday. These temporary roadblocks are in place until then, but CTV News observed several people walking around them and crossing the intersection, which is not yet safe to do so, as the proper traffic signals are not yet operational.
I'm going to walk across here, even though I'm not supposed to.
An impatient John Chabot visits Winnipeg a few times a year and says it's about time he can walk across.
It's a bit of a pain to go underneath all the time or walk a couple blocks down to get over, so it just makes it a little bit easier. And
many pedestrians agree Friday is long overdue.
I think pedestrians will be happy with this fact because it makes their way easier.
But some people have safety concerns about mixing cars and pedestrians at this busy intersection. Others question how this will impact traffic flow.
I'm on the fence. We'll see how much time it takes because this is my regular commute.
The opening is in lockstep with another major change. The new transit system goes into effect Sunday. Part of that includes buses no longer running on Graham Avenue. 4 blocks will be closed to vehicle traffic. A pilot project is underway to add benches, picnic tables, lighting, art, and events.
Markets, community gatherings, and ping pong tournaments on Graham Avenue.
Now, the city says people will start noticing changes on Graham Avenue over the next 3 weeks.
Jeff, back to Portage and Main. What is the mayor saying about pedestrians, cyclists, and drivers getting used to the big change there?
Yeah, the mayor says he has a message for all of them. Be careful, be cautious, slow down, just as you should anywhere in Winnipeg, and especially here because this is something new.
All right, thanks for the warning, Jeff. CTV's Jeff Keel reporting live tonight. Well, after 27 days, Manitoba is no longer under a wildfire-related state of emergency.
As things have been getting safer and as normal government channels have allowed us to deliver the services, we've come to a place where we can remove the state of emergency and just respect the freedoms and normal course of business that our society should always operate under.
Premier Wab Kinew said while the emergency rules are no longer needed, the situation remains serious. States of emergency permit law changes and freedom restrictions to allow various levels of government to work quickly in a disaster. Kinew says the decision was made in part because the danger had receded and many evacuees are heading home. About 9,000 of the 21,000 forced out have been allowed to return home, and that number is expected to climb as more head home in the coming days, particularly in Flin Flon.
And so, we are getting a lot of calls from folks that are concerned that they're still seeing active fire, and that is okay. These are very large fires. We do have staff on the ground who are responding to any potential issues or risks to the community.
There are 22 active wildfires in Manitoba, 7 of which are considered out of control. More than 909,000 hectares have burned, an area roughly 20 times the size of Winnipeg. Well, as some fire evacuees head home, the Winnipeg Humane Society is helping make sure their furry family members have the supplies they need.
It's been pretty stressful being in a hotel with him for so long because there's no backyard and he's away from home.
Haley Fitzpatrick and her now 12-week-old puppy were evacuated from Flin Flon to Winnipeg. Today, she searched through a pop-up supply giveaway at the Winnipeg Humane Society for items he'll need when they finally return home. She was one of more than 40 evacuees who picked up toys, litter, collars, and leashes, as well as food for their pets.
That, pet food might not be top of mind, it's people food and that kind of thing. So we're hoping that we can supply them with a few days, few weeks worth of stuff while they get their lives back together.
The supplies were donated to the Humane Society by the public. Free vaccinations were also available for evacuees at the pop-up shelter in St. Norbert today. Mounties continue to appeal for information about a vehicle spotted leaving the community of Victoria Beach shortly after a double homicide Friday. RCMP say a white truck was seen driving quickly south on Highway 59 following the shooting, which happened around 2 a.m. and killed 2 people. The bodies of a 29-year-old man and 41-year-old woman were found at a property in the community some 115 kilometers northeast of Winnipeg. Investigators from multiple agencies are still at the scene. They've spoken with several people, including the property owner. Anyone with information is asked to contact Powerview RCMP or Crime Stoppers. RCMP believe the incident was a targeted attack and the risk to public safety is low. A manhunt is underway tonight for an inmate who escaped from Stony Mountain Institution. An arrest warrant has been issued for 41-year-old Jason Van Wyck. He's currently serving a sentence of just over 2 years for break-and-enter and assault. Correctional Service Canada says staff at Stony Mountain Institution realized he was missing this morning. Van Wyck is described as 6 feet tall and weighs about 240 pounds. Anyone who has information is asked to contact RCMP. A house is the largest single investment most of us will ever make, and the size of that investment has been growing steadily in recent years as the price of single detached homes increases. CTV's John Hendricks now on how much cash you need before making an offer.
If you want to put a sold sign in front of a Winnipeg home these days, it's going to cost you a lot more than it once did.
It's substantially gotten less affordable. I've been doing this for 15 years, and it's probably tripled or quadrupled in price since I've been doing this.
According to the Winnipeg Real Estate Board, the average price for a single detached home in Winnipeg was roughly $275,000 in 2015. 10 years later, that price has spiked to $460,000.
So that's about a 40% increase. So yeah, for those, especially first-time buyers, saving up for that down payment, yeah, you got to save now, 5% down of $460,000 as opposed to $275,000.
And then you have closing costs, the land transfer tax, legal fees, and other expenses. So, how do you know if you can afford to buy a house? One Link Mortgage suggests before calling a real estate agent, you need to sit down with your banker.
That involves being pre-approved, getting your income verified, knowing where the down payment is coming from, getting all that verified so that when you make that offer, you know you're going to be able to move forward.
The amount of that offer will vary depending on the neighborhood and the type of home you buy.
Compared to 10 years ago, we've seen much more building of townhomes and single attached homes, and that presents more affordable options.
Options that can help people make the leap into the super hot housing market. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Smart water meters are on their way for the city of Winnipeg, and now the Public Service is recommending against an opt-out option. The technology allows meters to be read remotely from a central location using radio transmitters. In its report, the Public Service says offering an opt-out program tends to result in very low uptake, and it would cost about $250,000 annually to maintain the old system. Instead, it suggests rolling out a public awareness campaign on the safety of the transmitters and giving customers the option to have the antennas installed outside their homes at their own expense. The report goes before councillors Friday. Celebrations of National Indigenous Peoples Day in Assiniboine Park were unstoppable despite the threats of rain, showers, and thunderstorms. Assiniboine Park Conservancy had to move its events and activities indoors, but it didn't stop people from watching powwows and learning how to bead. Park staff say it's important to honor Indigenous Peoples Day to better understand our history and how to move forward. Up next for the park, Canada Day celebrations.
We're really encouraging people to come see our free music entertainment, our wellness programming, our movies, all free here at the park all summer long.
You can find details on all the upcoming events at the park online. Let's bring Colleen Brady now and get a first look at your Skywatch evening forecast. It's been a strange weather day. Dark skies late this afternoon. Winds picked up. What are you tracking this hour?
Well, very cool to start off the week for sure. We should be about almost 10 degrees warmer for this time of year. Normal high for this time of year for the cities in the mid-20s. We didn't get anywhere near that here in Winnipeg or anywhere else for that matter. We have some single-digit temperatures right now in parts of the north. That's unusual as well, or at least well below normal. Yeah, you can see how fast these arrows continue to travel across your screen. That tells you the winds are still quite strong and they're gusty too. They are going to ease up this evening before fog could set in many parts of the province and next door in northwestern Ontario. So we'll have a look at that and a look at the rest of the week. But first, the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Let's check in with that. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. It's cloudy now. It is 16 degrees, winds out of the west-northwest at 26 kilometers an hour. The pressure's rising. Oh, we have a guest on the screen there, Marilee. The pressure is rising and the humidity right now is 62%.
Thanks, Colleen. The first business to open on the 109 acres owned by the 7 Treaty 1 nations will soon be open to the public.
This is going to create much needed revenue for our nations. It's also going to create jobs and careers and opportunities that have never been seen in Manitoba, never been seen in Canada at all.
Today we got a sneak peek inside Odena Gas and Convenience on Taylor Avenue. The business will be open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. According to Treaty 1 Nations, this is part of one of the largest First Nation-led economic development projects in Canadian history. The gas station will employ 25 people, 24 of whom are First Nation members.
It's a catalyst for more development, but also it's a symbol of hope for our people, a symbol of progress. So it's a positive development for our people that we can be very proud about.
Odena Gas and Convenience is celebrating with a grand opening this Friday, and doors will be open to the public a week from today on June 30th. A Winnipeg veteran is going above and beyond for those who lost their lives in the line of duty. Included in those efforts are 2 soldiers buried at a Transcona cemetery who have been unknown for decades. CTV's Joseph Bernacki reports.
Veteran Peter Martin has been coming to Transcona Cemetery every November for years, bringing students to the annual No Stone Left Alone ceremony at the Field of Honor. 2 years ago, the kids asked him why 2 graves had no names.
I was in tears. I was devastated. I said, you mean for over 20 years I've been bringing students here and they have not honored those 2 because nobody knew their names. They weren't marked.
Since then, he has been hard at work trying to solve that mystery.
We started the last year working to find out what happened, how we could overturn this, and how we can make it happen.
Months of research and phone calls led to 2 names, William Cabot Lodge and William Howard Chester. Lodge died in 2005, and Chester passed away 23 years ago this week.
Everyone who serves signs that same piece of paper saying they'll serve the country when needed, where needed. And these 2 did that, Korea, World War II.
It's not clear why these graves were left unmarked, but Martin felt compelled to identify these men.
But nobody knows, nobody knew. I felt so bad that I could at least honor them and say thank you for your service.
He asked fellow veteran Joe Sapischuk to make 2 temporary crosses. Sapischuk quickly made them in his garage.
We had to right a wrong that's been for 20 years. There's an old Ukrainian saying Vichnaya Pamyat, meaning you will be remembered. So you have to honor those that went before you.
Permanent markers will be made with the help of the Last Post Fund, an organization which helps thousands of military families connect with the unmarked graves of loved ones.
To date, I believe we're about 8,000 unmarked grave headstones that we've been able to erect.
Chester's great-grandson said Martin's work has unlocked a new chapter in his family history.
It's been profound in a way. When they hear things like this, it really does gladden their hearts. And I know that that's the case for me personally as well.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Voters in Elmwood, East Kildonan will be heading to the polls for a by-election on October 25th. It comes after the sudden death of Jason Schreier, who died suddenly in April. Schreier was the son of former Premier Ed Schreier and was first elected to City Council in 2014. At last check, there were no registered candidates listed on the city's website. Residents will also vote for 2 trustees in the Louis Riel and Pembina Trails school divisions. The city would end up paying millions of dollars more by taking over yard waste collection. That's according to the Public Service, which pegs the cost of citywide in-house collection at $38.8 million over 7 years. That's roughly $9 million more than a contracted service. Last year, a similar study found it would be cheaper for the city to continue contracting out garbage, recycling, and yard waste collection. Councillors then asked the Public Service to study only yard waste collection. Still ahead, new developments in the latest conflict in the Middle East. Breaking news about a possible ceasefire after Iran makes good on its threats to attack U.S. assets. Plus, Canada signs on to a new defense pact with EU leaders. We will explain after the break. Taking a look at the markets, crude oil chopped more than $5. The loonie also slipped a bit lower. Gold futures added $9.30. The TSX finished 111 points higher. The Dow Jones jumped 374 points, while the Nasdaq gained 183. A vacant home in St. James was torn down Saturday after catching fire hours earlier. Firefighters battled the flames at this Douglas Park Road home starting around 3 this morning. The city says crews used aerial ladders and hand lines to get the fire under control. The damage was significant, and an emergency demolition happened later in the day. No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire is being investigated. Breaking news this hour. On social media, President Donald Trump says Israel and Iran have agreed to a, quote, complete and total ceasefire to be phased in over 24 hours. There has been no immediate reaction from Israel or Iran. It comes after Iran made good on its threat to attack the U.S. after the Trump administration dropped 30,000 bunker buster bombs on 3 nuclear facilities. The U.S. was expecting it in what is being called a symbolic retaliation on a U.S. military air base in Qatar. CTV's Joy Malbin has more from Washington.
Explosions boomed over the night sky, terrifying images of missiles seen over Doha and posted on social media. Iranian state TV said it fired missiles at the Al Adid U.S. military base that President Donald Trump visited just 1 month ago. Qatar says its air defenses managed to intercept Iranian missiles, and no casualties have been reported. The attack was announced on Iran state TV Proportionate. Iran said to the attack by the U.S. it was bomb for bomb. This was retaliation, Iran says, for the U.S. bombing Saturday. Satellite imagery shows the damage to 3 nuclear facilities targeted by the U.S. President Donald Trump warned Iran this was a one-off and not to strike back, or else.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Iran reportedly gave Qatar advance notice of the attacks, temporarily closing its airspace, U.S. military bases, and major U.S. cities on high alert. The president meeting with his national security team and the Trump administration stressing,
we're not at war with Iran, we're at war with Iran's nuclear program.
But it comes as the president, sure to anger Iran, floated the idea of regime change.
As for Canadians in the region, earlier today, the federal government advised people in Iran to leave the country or stay in a bomb shelter if possible. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand says they should register with Global Affairs Canada. The organization is helping Canadians by setting up flights out of neighboring countries since commercial airspace is closed over Iran. Some flights are being allowed to depart Tel Aviv today. Prime Minister Mark Carney was in Belgium today to meet with European leaders and sign a new defense and security agreement. But the conflict in the Middle East and calls for de-escalation with Iran threaten to overshadow those new commitments. CTV's Jeremy Sharon is traveling with the Prime Minister and has the latest from Brussels.
A morning visit to a military cemetery kick-started Prime Minister Mark Carney's first full day in Belgium. A ceremony to honor hundreds of fallen Canadian soldiers buried here after the First and Second World War. Ahead of this Canada-EU summit, a meeting between Carney and European leaders focused on joint security and defense.
Very, very warm welcome to this EU-Canada summit.
We look forward to moving to an ever-closer partnership with the European Union.
Here, Carney signed a new security and defense pact with European Union leaders aimed at diversifying its trade and defense industrial partnerships, billed as a first step towards more defense procurement from Europe and an eventual plan to get Canada into the Rearm Europe military program.
It will help us deliver on our new requirements for capabilities more rapidly and more effectively. It will help build our industries, secure our jurisdictions.
But Carney's European trip has been dominated already by the escalating war in the Middle East. The Prime Minister spoke with President Trump overnight and says de-escalation was a focus of their conversation.
Where the state of Iran has been a sponsor of terrorism, Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and beyond. And where at least in our opinion, Canada has listed the Iranian Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization, active terrorist organization. These are violations of international law.
Carney travels to The Hague in the morning for a highly anticipated NATO meeting where it's expected the conflict in the Middle East will dominate too. NATO's Secretary General was pressed on it today.
That is why NATO has said Iran should not, and this is a consistent position of NATO, Iran should not have its hands on a nuclear weapon. So, and I would not agree that this is against international law, what the U.S. did.
The Hague summit will also see the alliance look at a new baseline spending target of 5% of GDP. Canada only this month committed to meeting the current 2% target this fiscal year, a decade after the alliance agreed to it. Jeremy Sharon, CTV News, Brussels.
Remembering the victims of Air India Flight 182, this is the 40th anniversary of the bombing that killed 329 people, the vast majority of them Canadian. Commemorative ceremonies were held today in several Canadian cities and India, as well as in County Cork, Ireland, which was attended by Canada's Public Safety Minister.
We gathered at around 8 a.m., just around the same time as Air India Flight 182 went down on the coast of Ireland. We had about 12 separate families, around 40 people who gathered from the family members as well as several hundred from the community.
A bomb planted by 6 separatists exploded on board the jet over the Atlantic Ocean off the Irish coast. A second suitcase bomb exploded before being transferred onto an Air India jet, killing 2 baggage handlers in Tokyo. Communities in Northern Ontario have declared states of emergency as they clean up from a severe storm over the weekend.
I was terrified, but there was this part of me that kept telling myself, it's okay. It's okay. No matter what happens, it's going to be okay.
Saturday night, a possible tornado flooded roads, brought down trees, and left some people trapped because of closed roads. The community of Kelvin has issued a shelter-in-place order. Ontario Provincial Police are telling people to avoid non-essential travel as crews clean up and assess the damage. At least 14 people were killed in Russian drone and missile strikes on Ukraine overnight. 9 deaths, including 1 child, were reported in the capital, Kyiv, where an apartment building partially collapsed. At least 2 people were killed in Odessa, where a missile hit a high school in the daytime. However, casualties there were limited due to summer break. Zelensky called that attack absolutely insane. Ukraine's Air Force says Russia launched 352 drones, 11 ballistic missiles, and 5 cruise missiles in total. Police in Toronto are investigating a brazen break-in attempt using a rather unconventional instrument. Yeah, check this out. A backhoe excavator was used to smash the roof of a Scotia Bank branch. Police say the robbers weren't able to get in and took off before police arrived, leaving the machine behind, and extensive damage done to the building. A longtime martial arts instructor is giving back to the community with the help of his family and friends.
I think these people need help. You know, I know what it means to be hungry. I surely do. And if we can help them, we're going to help them.
Keith Saunders is the master instructor at Saunders Taekwondo Academy. He says he spent decades feeding unsheltered people in the city. Saunders and his team gathered outside Silo Mission Sunday with enough food to serve 200 people. He said this is his way of comforting those in need, and his message is simple: look out for one another.
Don't be afraid to come and you know, give, because these are human beings. These are our family. You know, these are our people. This is our country. You know, we have to help each other.
Oh, yeah. Sunday's meal marked the 125th time Saunders has hit the streets to spread his message of hope. Well, how would you feel about hopping in a taxi but without the driver? Tesla has just launched its fleet of driverless taxis in Texas. We'll take a look at the rollout next.
And the long-range forecast pretty much has stable conditions. Most days a mix of sun and cloud. Could skew a little on the cloudy side at times on Wednesday, but look at this. One day after the next, the temperature climbs a couple of degrees. 23 Wednesday, back up to 25 Thursday, hot Friday, 27 degrees. 2 more, 29 on Saturday, a mix of sun and cloud. 26 Saturday, or Sunday, pardon me, mix of sun and cloud with the possibility of some showers and some pretty warm overnight lows along the way.
More than 350 athletes hit fields, pools, and courts in Winnipeg over the weekend for Special Olympics Manitoba's Provincial Summer Games. This was the first summer game since 2017. On Saturday, athletes took over the University of Manitoba Stadium for an afternoon of track and field. At other venues around the city, athletes competed in sports like golf, soccer, swimming, and rhythmic gymnastics during the 3-day event.
So many athletes tell us that this is the absolute pinnacle of their years, of their 4-year cycle. You know, they participate in programs year-round across the province, and so for them to have an event like this, where they've got their family and friends cheering them on, the public cheering them on, truly, all I keep hearing this weekend is just that the energy is up and everyone is so happy and joyful to be here.
Athletes were also competing for a chance to represent Manitoba at the 2026 Special Olympics Canada Summer Games. Those are happening next summer in Medicine Hat, Alberta.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Colleen Brady back now with your Skywatch forecast, and the good news is those winds are going to ease up overnight.
They will ease up overnight, only to change direction and strengthen tomorrow in some areas like Winnipeg. But yeah, you see these arrows still moving pretty quickly across the screen. So the winds haven't eased up just yet, but the expectation is in the next couple of hours they'll diminish significantly. We've even had a little bit of rain in some places that needed. Some of those wildfire affected areas got a little bit in the Norway House area, and then even less, but still some in Flin Flon. But ahead tonight, there is the possibility that a little bit more may be headed Norway House's way. We've had a system, really, a low that's sitting well over in northwestern Ontario, but back across central and northern parts of the province here in Manitoba. It's brought some rain along with it, sort of dragging it along from behind. So as we go through the next few hours, you see those showers really start to break up. A lot of places in both northern and southern Manitoba will see fog develop overnight, including here in the city. Overnight, if you are in Swan River, there's another round of rain likely headed your way. It could make its way further south to Dauphin and further north as well into the Paw before morning. It does stretch out further east throughout the morning hours. It should miss Winnipeg and much of the south. Again, tomorrow will be a lot warmer than it was today, back up into the mid-20s in the south, which is normal for late June. Then we get fairly clear as we get into tomorrow night. Over overnight, most areas clear, but some localized smoke in some places. Then the day ahead on Wednesday again, like I was showing you, at least here in Winnipeg and the surrounding areas, very stable conditions, sunshine or a mix of sun and cloud here in the city and across much of the south. And you can see that pretty much holds true for areas further through central and northern parts of the province as we get to that midweek. But for tonight for Winnipeg, at least early this evening, still a low chance of showers, although the chance is diminishing greatly. The winds will ease up in the next couple of hours. The sky clears out overnight, but there is the chance that we could see fog develop overnight and into the commute tomorrow, which could reduce visibility. Mainly sunny otherwise for the commute tomorrow, 12 degrees. Winds from the south, they'll stay from the south all day long. 25 is our high tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud, and then late in the day there is at least the risk of a thunderstorm. And the UV index for tomorrow for the city is 7 or high. Up into the north, that rain that's been falling all day long in Gillam, well, that continues this hour. It will end there later on tonight. Some light rain falling right now in Island Lake and in Thompson. Thompson drops to 3 tonight. Dry tomorrow in Churchill, 18 degrees. Now the best chance of showers tomorrow in the northeast is around the Island Lake area. In the southwest or the northwest tonight, pardon me, we've got some rain falling in the Norway House area there, 5. Now Oceana and the Paw, again, it's overnight where there's a very good chance you'll see rain develop as you drop down to 7 degrees. Good chance you'll see some rain around the region tomorrow in some places that need it. Flin Flon getting up to 16 degrees on Tuesday. In the southwest tonight, there we go. A few clouds for Brandon and Neepawa dropping down to 7 degrees. Again, there's that shower activity likely to pop up in Swan River overnight. 8 is your overnight low there. Both Dauphin and Swan River have the chance of showers tomorrow. Dauphin up to 21. Brandon, mix of sun and cloud there, and 24 degrees, closer to normal for you. Fog expected overnight for Winnipeg in the southeast. We drop down to 7, 8, 9 degrees for most areas. 8 for Winnipeg. Mix of sun and cloud for Winnipeg tomorrow. Sunshine outside the city and some pretty strong and gusty southwest winds too. And in northwestern Ontario, fog overnight as well for most areas, and then sunshine and some winds picking up, highs in that 22 to 23 degree range. First photo is a beautiful one looking out on to the waters of Lake Winnipeg from Irv's perspective in Grand Marais. And look closely, Marilee. This is Carly's daily visitor in Argyle, this cute little frog. Send us your weather photos to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. Tesla's first robo-taxis are officially on the road. Elon Musk's company has launched its long-awaited self-driving taxi service in Austin, Texas, offering rides to a select group. Andrew Dimbert reports.
There's no driver, there's no ghost person up there.
While they're technically driverless, each car still has a safety monitor, a Tesla employee riding in the passenger seat. For now, the service is limited to a handful of cars in a small area of the city, but Musk has big ambitions, not just for robo-taxis, but for every Tesla.
By the end of next year, we'll have hundreds of thousands, if not over 1 million Teslas doing self-driving in the U.S.
Tesla calling this a precursor to the Cybercab, which the company says will go into production next year.
You'll be able to take a ride in the Cybercab. There's no steering wheel or pedals.
Driving development of the self-driving software, artificial intelligence, trained by consuming data from millions of Teslas on the road.
It's like living millions of lives simultaneously and seeing very unusual situations that a person in their entire lifetime would not see.
Musk says the Cybercab and other Teslas could one day be rented out by their owners to make extra money. Tesla taking a first step into a space where other companies are already well ahead. Waymo currently handles 250,000 paid rides a week across multiple cities, and at least 3 other companies are now testing autonomous vehicles. Amazon's autonomous vehicle company Zoox just opened a factory in the San Francisco Bay Area with plans to test its vehicle in Las Vegas this year. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
The world's largest digital camera is online, and it's giving us an unparalleled look at the cosmos. What the images tell us, and could this mark a turning point in astronomy? Stay with us. Some of the universe's darkest mysteries are coming into focus thanks to a new telescope, which happens to hold the world's largest digital camera ever built. The first images from the Vera C. Rubin Observatory were released today, and joining me now to talk more about what they reveal is Philip Ferguson, president of the Canadian Aeronautics and Space Institute at the U of M. Philip, good to speak with you.
Great to be here. Thanks.
I know stargazers have been eagerly waiting to see these first images. I'm curious, did it exceed your expectations, and what exactly do these images reveal?
Well, so I think what's amazing about this is, this isn't the first time that we've seen incredible pictures from space. We saw amazing pictures from Hubble Space Telescope, and in fact, even more recently from the James Webb Space Telescope. But what's incredible about this one is the sheer size of this imager. I mean, it's gargantuan. And what that's allowing us to do now is to take pictures of the night sky many times per night. So it's not just that this imager is huge and it's got amazing resolutions, but it can also move very quickly. So in only 3 days, we can take pictures of the entire night sky. And that's important to see how things are changing over time.
Yeah, this telescope and observatory are pretty remarkable. Can you tell us a bit about what makes it so special?
Yeah, so first of all, it's where it is. So in Chile, they have incredibly dark skies, and it's a very dry area. So they have very few disturbances in the atmosphere. So they can get a very clear picture of what's going on up in space. But then the other thing that makes this so special is how quickly this telescope can shift from taking one picture to another picture, and another picture, just kind of scanning that sky. And that's important because then we can take a picture of the entire sky in 3 days and then go back and take a picture of it again, and then again, and then again. And it's because what we're interested in is how this is changing over time so that we can detect things like asteroids and comets to get some idea of what else is out there and what's potentially moving and which could actually impact Earth.
Yeah, this is being described as a game changer. How could this telescope, change astronomy forever?
Well, I think really what it's allowing us to do is get a very clear picture of how the universe around us is changing. I mean, for so long, up until now, we've only really been able to get sort of one snapshot of what's happening right now, or really the light that we're seeing, which of course is coming from many light years away. But now with this telescope, we're able to see this timescale, that how things are changing, and allows us to detect these asteroids that so far have been pretty much impossible for us to detect. I read earlier today that they have already made initial discoveries with this telescope, and it isn't even fully online yet. They've discovered new asteroids that they have not seen before, and that's only made possible because of their ability to take these incredibly high resolution photos many times per night.
Any cosmic mysteries you hope this telescope can shed some light on, as it continues to scan the skies?
Well, I have to say, the namesake of this telescope is Vera Rubin, who is an incredible pioneer, leading the way of astronomical research, and she studied dark matter and dark energy. And so what this telescope is hopefully going to show us is the impact of that dark matter and dark energy on the universe, and how it's really shaped Earth and everything around us in our Milky Way galaxy. So I think, in addition to just looking out for asteroids that may someday obliterate this planet, certainly following in the footsteps of incredible scientists like Vera Rubin is an honor.
Pretty cool stuff. Philip, thanks for explaining it all for us. It was great speaking with you.
Great, thanks so much.
Children as young as 7 are making TikTok videos about their meticulous and pricey skincare routines. Known as Sephora Kids, they are the focus of a new study raising alarms about the trend.
So we're 6 minutes in now, and she's applied almost 10 products.
Researchers in Chicago found the skincare routines posted by creators aged 18 and under were complicated, costly, and time-consuming, adding the skincare routines offered few benefits to the young people they were targeting and carried risks of irritation, skin allergy, and sun sensitivity. Only a quarter of daytime skin regimens included sunscreen, which the researchers say is an incredibly important product for young and old skin alike. The study was published in the American Academy of Pediatrics. With food companies rolling out high-protein versions of a huge range of foods, you might be tempted to think you need to add more to your diet. But nutritionists say if you're getting enough food, you're probably getting enough protein.
It is not based on health. It is not backed by science. If you're buying a highly processed chocolate bar and it has added protein, it's just a highly processed chocolate bar with added protein. It does not have any health benefits. And a lot of the time, these foods are in fact high-risk processed foods. They're not actually healthy.
She says people should scrutinize the ingredient list of protein-enriched products to make sure they are not loaded with sugar and fat. The amount you need depends on your age, weight, and personal nutritional needs. The World Health Organization recommends healthy adults get about 0.4 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Experts say it's important to get protein from different foods like dairy, fish, beans, nuts, vegetables, and meat. Bottom line, you probably don't need to buy products with added protein.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
This weekend in Manitoba may be one of the final Canadian stops for a country music superstar. Details about Dauphin's Country Fest just ahead. And where you can listen to one of the most played albums of all time live on a Winnipeg stage, cut for cut, note for note. Spotlight is next.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Brett Kissel.
They are getting ready for a party this weekend in Dauphin. Dauphin's Country Fest is Canada's longest-running country music festival, and it all gets underway Thursday.
She thinks I could rope.
Now, this is probably going to be the last time you get to see this guy. That's John Michael Montgomery, Sunday's headliner. The country star has announced he's retiring from touring at the end of this year. Also on the list, Josh Ross. He's the headliner on Friday. Country Fest runs from June 26th to 29th at Silo, Ukraina, located on the northern edge of Riding Mountain National Park. Other artists include Jordan Davis, Cord Lund, Mark Chestnut, and Dina Carter. For more information and tickets, go online to countryfest.ca. Classic Albums Live is returning to Winnipeg, and this time they're bringing you a Pink Floyd classic. A-list musicians will take to the stage at Centennial Concert Hall October 22nd. They'll play Pink Floyd's The Wall in its entirety. The album was released in December 1979. It became the #1 selling album of the 70s. General tickets go on sale Wednesday online at centennialconcerthall.com. Dragons, Zombies, and Aliens faced off at the box office this weekend.
Maybe they're not as bad as we think they are.
The live-action adaptation of How to Train Your Dragon held on to #1 for its second weekend with $37 million US in ticket sales. Post-apocalypse zombie thriller 28 years later debuted with $30 million across North America, while Pixar's Elio landed in third with about $21 million. Well, it's almost time for the final chapter in one of Netflix's most popular shows of all time. The third and final season of Squid Game is out this week. Netflix says it picks up after season 2's cliffhanger as player 456 struggles to overthrow the games in the face of overwhelming despair and somehow even deadlier games. Squid Game season 3 begins streaming Friday. We'll beat those Monday blues with American Ninja Warrior at 7, followed by Yes Chef at 9. Then wrap up the night with E-Talk at 10:30, all right here on CTV.
It's a great activity for the mental health patients to do at our hospital.
How art is fostering creativity and healing for local mental health patients. The story of a new art exhibit in Winnipeg next.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
A sweltering heat wave scorches parts of the country.
Right now it's really hot.
How high did record-setting temperatures climb, and when can we expect relief? Later on CTV National News.
Yeah, that wasn't Winnipeg today. 16 degrees and cloudy, a little windy. The camera blowing around in those winds out of the west-northwest at 26 kilometers an hour. Obviously, no heat record set in Winnipeg today. We only reached 18. We have to go back to 1900 for the record for this day, June 28th, or 23rd. I'm jumping ahead. 23rd when we reached 38.3 degrees. 8 degrees overnight. There's still that low chance of showers this evening, although the chance is diminishing. Watch for fog overnight and into the commute on Tuesday morning. Mix of sun and cloud, winds picking up around noon, and then really mix of sun and cloud through the next few days, with one day getting warmer than the next, peaking at 29 on Saturday.
Thanks, Colleen. An art exhibition on display at Portage Place features works created by individuals in Victoria Hospital's outpatient mental health services program.
It was just a great experience for, community care.
Earlier this month, participants took part in Art in the Garden at Victoria Hospital's Miracle Garden. The event is a collaboration between the Foundation and Artbeat Studio and is designed to foster creativity and healing through artistic expression.
Art is an amazing way to participate, socialize, heal, do something with your hands, and we find that it's a great activity for the mental health patients to do at our hospital.
Art in the Garden was created by Tracy Stopel, whose mother lived with schizophrenia and found comfort in art. The artwork will be on display at Studio Central in Portage Place through July 6th. Some pretty nice pieces of art there.
Very lovely images.
All right. That does it for us this hour. Have a great evening. We'll see you back here tomorrow.